She just moved to LA, go to UCLA, and she drive a Maserati, then she got a body, she be tryna party, she be tryna party. She just moved to LA, go to UCLA, and she drive a Maserati, then she got a body.
GM. All right, we are live. Give me 1 second, I gotta fix my mic volume just a little bit. Sounds just a little bit low for us. Okay, I think we're good. Yeah, appreciate that. Yes to Crypto Narco. Good to have you, man. I don't really have a Discord or Telegram group for trading, man. You know, like it's just, I don't know. It's a lot of work. A lot of distraction involved with that, but it's good to have you guys in here. Appreciate you guys joining. Before we get going, a couple things I'm going to have you guys do first. Okay, so before we get going, we're going to go ahead, have you guys go over to X. Do it with me now. And oh shoot. Okay, you're going to do one of two things. You're either going to go in here. I'm going to do it on both. Okay, you're either going to go to this tweet right here, and you're going to hit like, or you're going to go to that one, hit like, and then you're going to go over here and hit that retweet button. I'm going to remind you guys partway through this stream to go ahead and do that, which is when I'll do it. But before then, you should do it because Elon absolutely kills any algo with the algo kills anything with external links. We want everybody in here that we can right now. So it'll be more fun with more people. So yeah, appreciate you guys doing that. Number one. Number two, go to the bottom corner of your screen, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, especially if you want to be able to talk. You cannot join the chat. You cannot talk unless you hit the subscribe button. So it's a no-brainer. Go ahead and do that right now. You know, and hey, even better if you hit that notify button for any of the future live streams. I always just do this on a whim. I never know exactly when I'm going to go and do it, but, you know, so you, if you want to catch it, you've got to have some way of notifying it. And especially on YouTube, I don't have much spam that I put up there. So you're not going to have a million videos. You'll literally only get notified of when I do live streams and stuff like this. So you can hop in the action with us. Yes, sir. Dude, you're a legend, Trading Joker. I saw that, man. Yes. Wonky stonks are free right now, bro. Like people are sleeping on them and I'm fine with that. You know, like NFT season kicks off, stonks are gonna fly. You heard it here first. I believe it. Okay, so one last housekeeping item before we go any further. My partner for this stream, my partner in general, is Bybit. Want to give a quick shout out to one thing that they are doing right now. So they've got a Trade Masters Grand Prix competition. You don't have to be signed up with me for this one. But I've got the link below. In general, if you guys have not signed up for this, if you have a Bybit account, if you don't, they do competitions like this all the time. Right now, the prize pool is 120K. They're not very far off. Here in the next few days, I think it's going to reach the 200K mark based on total trading volume and number of participants is how they slide that scale. And they've got 2 different competitions for it for what you can win. So the prize pool includes both ranking as far as trading volume for derivatives and P&L percentage. So they've got a P&L percentage as well. And the P&L percentage is a different prize pool. So right now it's a total of a $200,000 prize pool between the two. Dude, look at the P&L percentage right now. It doesn't take much. They've only got 6 or 7 days left of the competition, but that could be an edge for you. In all honesty, right now, especially when you're looking at a Degen account, you could run it up to 550%. Not too difficult. The one caveat with this is it does require a minimum of 1,000 USDT in your account for the wallet balance at the very beginning of it. And you're eligible for all that stuff after. Here are the other fun prize things. You can look on the link that I've got below for that. Feel free to sign up. And later on in the show, I promised you guys a while ago, and I've just been held up and not been able to do a stream in a minute, but I've still got to give away 4 different people that signed up for my link last month. I've got to give away 1,800 USDT to those accounts later. Here are different user IDs. I'm going to click that wheel 3 times, and we're going to record 3 different winners. So we're going to give away 1,800 bucks on this stream. And I'm going to do future stuff like that. So if you are a user of mine, and you sign up using my link, you'll have the opportunity to participate in this type of stuff as well. Overall, for 1,800 bucks, dude, look at that list. It's not a massive wheel, so you'll have the opportunity in a pretty small, dude, YouTubers do this stuff all the time, and they've got thousands and thousands of names. This is like 50. So you've got a pretty decent shot. Okay, with all of that said, let's go ahead and dive into everything. First and foremost, let me catch up on the chat real quick. All right, so Kirby, good to have you in here. What happened with C3? Oh, okay, I'll definitely talk about C3. C3, let's see. Which, this isn't crypto, but I'm going to go ahead and bring it up. C3 AI, they basically just had an announcement midday where it wasn't even their announcement, but they announced some type of layoffs, right? As soon as the layoffs announcement came, boom, stock crashed a little bit. I think it was overhyped as far as the crash came. Because, dude, they're hiring like 110 more positions. They cited performance issues as far as employees. We'll see. I'm still holding. If it ends up taking out these lows beneath the 27 area right there, dude, it's probably time to cut. But as long as this holds, I don't really see an issue with it. I mean, dude, you can look at other climbs in the past where you've got the double top, like right here, boom, double top, ended up going lower, ended up chopping for a day, ended up reclaiming. So I don't see it as necessarily something, same type of thing here. 2 tops ended up going lower, ended up going back up. So I don't see it as something that's necessarily I think it's going to bounce back still. So I'm holding. We'll see, 0 or a million, maybe an idiot, but, we'll see what happens. So anyway, done. That's really all I'm going to dive into equities for now. We'll dive into everything else because right now, we're diving on the stream and obviously, it's a red day, right? It is a red day. It is a red week so far. But I want to cover something first and foremost. So I tweeted this out yesterday. I'm not going to read that whole scenario story. It's kind of depressing. But this is real, right? So I looked at this. Thanksgiving weekend / throughout the week, at some point, historically over the past several years, we have seen a pretty significant drop for BTC. 2022 dropped 5%. Nothing too crazy, but if you look at it, alts drop more. 2021, BTC dropped 10%. 2020, BTC dropped 17%. And I even pinned that 2020 tweet because look at some of these other numbers for when they were off for that quote-unquote Black Friday special from when I tweeted it out, right? With ETH, 23% off. XRP, 50% off. LTC, 25% off. YFI, 39% off. Some of you new people may not even know what YFI and sushi are. 48% off for sushi. Dude, the blood was horrendous. And if you look at what ended up happening after the fact, we ended up seeing a strong recovery off a lot of those names. And let's look at what happened to Bitcoin, for instance. I don't even know why I clicked 6-hour candles. It just is easy. So Bitcoin back then, that weekend, where was it, you might ask? So, okay, Bitcoin was climbing. It had climbed. Here it was. This was that wick, which, dude, that wick at the time during the Thanksgiving, man, that felt awful, felt brutal. Felt like the top might be in for a lot of people because this was claiming or, on the verge of reclaiming the all-time high in price discovery. Boom, we got smacked back down. What ended up happening not too long, it didn't take too long to be able to reclaim those highs, chop for a bit longer, and keep going up. I think that's kind of where we are right now. I put this fractal here. Like, it's played out pretty well. I don't know, dude, a sweep down to 34, 35, somewhere in there. That's nothing too crazy. I put that up yesterday as a chart as well. Definitely could still see the same thing happening, but I still think 40K is a magnet. I think we're going up from here. And yeah, I think we're going to continue to climb. Like, dude, same type of thing with Doge, right? Doge is a coin that you stack. Okay. Wipe back to me that I F me. But, it's not something that hasn't happened before. When you look at some of these expansions, like, here's the deal. If Doge does... I don't know, man. I'm still stacking. I still think that there's a good chance that it does break higher, and maybe I'm insane. Like, I might be absolutely crazy. But I'm looking at a few of the things that we have coming up. Like, dude, I'm looking at this right here, right? When you look at this breakout... something similar ended up faking out, sweeping the lows here before it ended up reclaiming, running it back. I think something like that could still happen. Doge is for stacking. There's no way that we don't get some type of rally before the SpaceX launch. I just don't see that not happening. That's slated for early January right now. So sometime in the next month, there's going to be buzz. There's going to be announcements. There's going to be stuff leading up to that. But here's the truth. I think you should exit your position prior to that. I think that we will get a run up prior to it. And there are going to be a lot of people waiting for the day of the announcement. But if you've watched any SpaceX launch in the past or any type of space, whatever, can you imagine what would happen to your bags if that thing blew up in the air? They're going straight to zero. So, that's the game plan for Doge right now. Basically, freaking ignore everything I've got on here. Fuck my TA. Like, it's going up before the end of... before the launch, and then after that, which if you don't know, Dogecoin is supposed to be sending a physical Dogecoin to the moon with SpaceX, and that's coming up in early January. And yeah, again, I still see that rallying prior to that. Now, what could that look like on the USD side of things? Dude, at this point, I wouldn't be shocked if we retest 6 and then bounce up from there. Retest the high time frame breakout and then run it up. I mean, again, dude, Doge is for stacking. We'll see. I'm still confident that it's going to run up. I might be insane. I obviously have a bag bias right now, but I'm running with it. So, let's see. All right. Let's go back to... I want to check out Bitcoin dominance real quick. Okay, this is a mess from the last time that I had Bitcoin dominance up here during the stream. Right, you can see the arrows that I was pointing to, the circle, etc. One of the things that I brought up. Brought up a potential retest just of this top resistance here. Still could see it happening, wouldn't be surprised if we got something like that. Either way, in this scenario, when I'm looking at the potential upside for Bitcoin dominance as a whole, I mean, granted, this could reflect a decent... I still think alts right now are better for stacking if you have a longer term play, but that doesn't mean necessarily that they're best for, positional... if you are punting longs right now, alts had a nice little rally right here. And again, I think that another nice rally is coming, right? I do think that we are going to see a leg that basically does track down to here. Now, the question is, does that immediately flip down and go over, or does it do this and go over? TBD, right? Like, but one way or the other, when I'm looking at this from a high time frame perspective, I don't know. I wouldn't be shocked to see a leg like this, where we end up running up to here, wicking up, and then going back down. So that is a complete mess looking at it, right? But like, it paints the picture. The opportunity for Bitcoin outpacing alts, I think whatever it is, it's going to be fast. And it's not going to, I really don't see that breaking above that and sustaining above it. And a big part of what you're looking at when you look at Bitcoin dominance as a whole, and what you have to remember, Bitcoin dominance tracks the market cap of Bitcoin versus the aggregate of basically the entire alt market cap. It's designed to bleed lower with time, because why? There are more alts that will continue to be listed, more alts that will continue to grab that market share. Not even necessarily from a tech perspective. If you are just bullish on the industry as a whole, you can be incredibly bullish on Bitcoin, but if you are bullish on the industry as a whole, Bitcoin dominance is going to trend lower. Like, it is just a matter of when, not if. So yeah, we'll end up seeing how that ends up playing out, but I still do think alts have more left in them to run. But at this point, kind of does look like we might end up getting a retest of that, which, dude, if we get that, that is brutal. That is where you see these type of moves, where you say ETH 23% off, XRP 50% off, right? Like, these are the type of moves you see with that type of sell-off, with that type of wick. That type of wick doesn't always necessarily have to correlate into green candle price action for BTC. It can just be red price action, where BTC is going lower, slower than the rest of the assets that are out there on the market. Okay, so while I'm here, quick pause, said I was going to do this, and we're going to do it early. I'm going to go ahead and retweet this right now. Why? We've got 6 likes and 3 retweets. So you're going to go to my profile page as well, and you're going to get in here, and you're going to retweet this. Why? If I can do it, you can do it with me. Yeah, AVAX, same thing, man. I still see AVAX going higher, but like, honestly, it's probably time to take a breather, right? Played out exactly how this thing had, and that was it, right? Like, that's the extension. You end up getting a retest down here. And oh man, I shared this, like, this is what I shared earlier. Okay, I need to bring this back over. So I shared this on another stream. I wouldn't be shocked to see something like this for AVAX, right? This is the new thing I'm looking at. Basically a retest down here. Right? Like, so I shared this not way too long ago on a stream, and this is what I see happening, right? Like, you end up getting expansion down here, retest down here, and that's where you get the run higher. So, time to move on. Prince, I just talked about Doge, brother. Like, I'm still bullish on Doge. I mean, it's like, again, if it bleeds a little bit before it goes higher, it happens. Like, I'm still bullish on it. And to be fair, Prince, I've also been shilling Doge for months. Whether that's a good thing or bad thing, like, I'm bullish on it. There's no way that it doesn't get a leg higher from here. I do not see a world where we are having some type of alt season and Doge doesn't rally back above 10. And Doge happens fast whenever it happens. So, yeah, it's bag bias, but at the end of the day, I may end up looking like an asshole. If it happens, it happens. But that's the thing with this game. You're not going to have a 100% hit rate. And hey, again, I still expect it to. So we'll see. But I do need to tweet this one out, because I don't even think I have tweeted this out. This is still what I'm expecting right here at this point with AVAX. So hopefully that helps any of you, answers the question. And this is kind of what I expect for a lot of alts right now, right? A little bit of a retest where you see this high time frame breakout. You had that major expansion, but it takes a minute before it really gets legs and start moving. I'm looking at it from this rally right here, similar type of breakout from a high time frame resistance. You ended up getting expansion, retest, and then boom, next leg up. So I could see the same thing happening right here. Okay. I'm gonna pause real quick from the charts. And we're going to talk through a little bit of the drama on the Twitter feed. I've just been, man, you go through stretches where you're just out of it a little bit. I think leading up to the holidays, I've just been so busy getting ready with some family stuff. And it was just after the whole sick whatever, on the road again tomorrow. And I'll be on the road for Thanksgiving for the next couple of days. So won't be able to stream again until this weekend. But yeah, man, it is just easy sometimes to kind of feel that disconnect and, take a little bit of time away from the social side of things. You get a little bit used to it. It gets a little bit easy. But, it's important to continue to push yourself because you're going to go through those stretches where you don't want to get on. You don't want to do that type of stuff. You want to take a break. And, honestly, at the end of the day, it all comes down to what is your motivation? What is your inspiration for doing all of this? And I think one of the most beautiful things about this journey for me is being able to share it with y'all. Right? You don't find community like this outside of crypto Twitter. A lot of people just don't understand the ups and the downs. They don't understand the wave in between. And it's crazy when you get multiple crypto Twitter degens that get in the same room together, in person, because you end up connecting and resonating on issues that nobody else really can, right? I met Soul Legend in person this last weekend, and dude was awesome, right? We talked about a lot of really cool things, a lot of cool things that are happening on the Solana side of things that I'm super bullish on. And, wouldn't have really been aware of a lot of them had I not connected in person. And outside of that, this is as close as it gets, right? Diving in, being in the trenches. If you want to know about what's the next trending topic, dude, you're not going to know if you're not in the trenches of CT, if you don't have those type of connections. Actually, talking about the CZ stuff, right? Let's go over to CZ. Shout out to, one of the few people he does follow back. Dude, you know what? I'm going to read this because this is actually really important, and it is worth taking the time to read. And I'm sure this is exactly, I'll check out ETH BTC as well, sub 4. So don't worry. But this is worth reading. And I'm sure this is exactly how CZ would have sounded saying this too. Today, I stepped down as CEO of Binance. Admittedly, it was not easy to let go emotionally, but I know it's the right thing to do. I made mistakes and I must take responsibility. This is best for our community, for Binance, and for myself. Binance is no longer a baby. It is time for me to let it walk and run. I know Binance will continue to grow and excel with the deep bench it has. I'm pleased to announce that Richard Tang, our now former global head of regional markets, has been named the new CEO of Binance today. Richard is a highly qualified leader, and with over 3 decades of financial services and regulatory experience, he will navigate the company through its next period of growth. He will ensure Binance delivers on our next phase of security, transparency, compliance, and growth. Prior to joining Binance, Richard was the CEO of the Financial Services Regulatory Authority at Abu Dhabi Global Market, Chief Regulatory Officer of the Singapore Exchange, and Director of Corporate Finance at the Monetary Authority of Singapore. With Richard and the entire team, I'm confident that the best days for Binance and the crypto industry lay ahead. As a shareholder and former CEO with historical knowledge of our company, I will remain available to the team and to consult as needed, consistent with the framework set out in our U.S. agency resolutions. So, okay, important thing here. He's not fully done with Binance. He's still going to be plugged in. It's not one of those things where you got the complete axe, but, there are some sanctions with what ended up happening there where he's going to step away. I think that it's, Wolf ended up putting it out there, Hasaka, I should say, a few years where he's not allowed directly involved in the direct operations in any capacity for Binance, which, dude, honestly, he deserves a break. There's no way, like, when you build something like that, you don't get a break for years. So what's next for me? I will take a break. After that, my current thinking is I will probably do some passive investing, being a minority token shareholder in startups in areas of blockchain, Web3, DeFi, and biotech. I'm happy that I will finally have more time to spend looking at DeFi. I think this is important, right? He is basically saying DeFi is a huge part of the future. If you were not bullish on DeFi, you know, like, this is him basically telling you DeFi's next. DeFi is coming. I can't see myself being a CEO driving a startup again. I am content being a one-shot lucky entrepreneur. We'll see. I think he's going to be more involved than what he really states, but we'll see. I am content being, okay. If nothing else, I can at least tell them what not to do. On that note, I'm proud to point out that in our resolutions to the U.S. agencies, they do not allege Binance misappropriated any user funds and do not allege that Binance engaged in any market manipulation. Funds are safe. Yeah. So anyway, CZ's done. Crazy. So I mean, it is kind of crazy too. And also just thinking about the difference between this and I get it's a completely different situation from whenever SBF stepped down versus, you know, CZ and what's happening here. But like, dude, just think about SBF and how he lost his mind in the midst of all this, right? SBF, when he did the whole tweet, like, let's just go to SBF. Which again, I don't know if this is a flex. Okay. Like, the fact that my tweet's one of his last retweets, like, what the hell, man? I didn't even realize this. What did I say here? Oh, yeah, okay. I mean, I don't feel embarrassed about saying that. Yeah, like, they should restart the exchange, but, you know, under different management, different funding, different whatever else. So, you know, I don't know why he retweeted that, but he did. Yes, sir. Wonky stocks are inevitable, booyah. Okay, where is this, dude? The what tweet has to be somewhere here. Shrapnel 24. Like, this is one of the most legendary threads of all time. This was his response versus CZ's response. And again, two different situations, but it just shows you two different types of people. So respect to CZ on his way out. Now, not easy kind of being ousted of your own company, but that's what happens a lot of the times when you become the main character. Things become too big. It's like Sam Altman. Ishil, bro, I love you, but I've talked about Doge a lot. And I'd say at this point, rather than rehashing it all, and I love Doge, I would say just rewatch the beginning parts of the stream whenever the stream is over. So, but anyway, okay, so that's really the biggest drama right now, obviously, going on in the crypto market from the regulatory, whatever else perspective. You know, market as a whole right now just looks a little bit weak, but again, I think that we're going to end up getting a recovery. Don't think this is going to last way too long. You know, bottom out sometime around this weekend, have a nice Santa rally after. You know, so I think, like, this is basically a picture of what you're going to see across a lot of alts, right? This type of a retrace followed by this type of a run. I don't know. We'll see whether or not it plays out. I am going to add this to the AVAX thread. Yeah, it's worth it. So let's see what else right now. Like, We're going to go to... What is trending today? I don't even know. Let's check. 24-hour price action. Anything crazy in the top 100? No winners. I mean, DYDX, little bit, but I'm not going to count a 1% move as a winner. Everything's struggling, right? Looking at this is better, right? Look at the blood across the top 100. 10, 11, 12. Like, this is the pain that you expect. This is kind of the sell-off that I'm expecting for the Thanksgiving week that I talked about yesterday, right? This is the Thanksgiving week sell-off. You know, might last another day or two, but I don't see it lasting too much longer than that. We got it. Like, these are your Black Friday specials. The Black Friday specials are coming. They may go a bit deeper, but, you know, 7 days, you know, there's still a lot of green. For a lot of these names that are super red right now, you know, they correlate with a lot of green still on the weekly. They're still up on the weekly for all of these that are down right now, you know? So it's just, it's expected contraction after that much expansion. It's that simple. You have that much expansion, you are going to have some type of contraction. Even in the past hour, right? Like, we are seeing some blood across these chains. It's kind of beautiful. Blood means opportunity.
Girl, how you playing with me?
Okay. Let's go. I want to see what's the next top 100, or, you know, number 200 or 101. Dude, there's the gas price action. I don't even know what happened there. It's not sustainable. Yeah, the next 100 is not any better, right? Pain. You know, so it's just, it's what you expect. But again, look at all the green here with a lot of this. Like, now, some of the names that are red on the weekly are not surprising. Like meme coin, Terra Luna. Like, dude, think about it. Think about the Luna price expansion. A lot of that was just on the FTX rumors as far as the restart, which that'll be some interesting charts to look at, right? Like, let's look at FTT. Dude, woo! The way that shot up, not surprising to have some red after, right? Like, so you're going to see on the weekly, that'll be up. Actually, will it be up the weekly? No, it'll be red on the weekly, right? You are going to have some type of consolidation here before the next stage of expansion. There's no way that it doesn't continue higher, or just without any type of pullbacks. So same thing with Luna, right? You know, Luna, it makes less sense than FTT. FTT actually has a bullish fundamental case for it going higher. Luna going higher was just like, look at this. This is a crazy chart to look at for whatever it was bleeding out. But Luna going higher, I mean, it's just like, Luna's going to keep bleeding out, in my opinion. There's no way that Luna's a dead coin. It just bounced on the FTT news. Okay, what next? You know what I'm going to do next? I'm going to give away the 1,800 bucks. So give me a minute. I'm going to do that right now. I have to. We're going to go over here. Okay. So 1,800 bucks, giving it away now. And reminder, you know, if you want to be eligible for this type of giveaway, a couple things you can do in the future. You can go sign up right here using my referral code. I also have it in the description of this video. So sign up for Bybit. I will do more stuff like this with them in the future. So right now we're giving away 1,800 bucks. Click spin 1. Let's go. All right, congratulations. That's number one. I'm going to take a screenshot, save this, and move on to the next one. Okay, next one. Number two, another 600 USDT. Another 600 USDT. And congratulations to whoever 7519462 is. So if you don't know your user ID, you can check it on your profile on your Bybit page. Yeah, not too difficult to do. And the last 600 USDT for the last individual. Here we go. So I will send all of these UIDs over to my Bybit representatives that I work with, and we will get all of you guys paid out here. I'm not sure how long it takes to process, but it'll happen. All right, final one. Boom, done. That was fun. I'm not doing another, so this last one, sorry, you don't get anything. China, I'll ask that. I'm not sure if there is a way to have that happen, but I'll have that answer for you on the next stream, okay? If you didn't have a referral before, whether or not that you can go ahead and change it over to me, that's a great question. So I'll ask that for future references, because I think there are a lot of people out there like that don't necessarily have one, where you see these type of opportunities and you're like, dude, why wouldn't I be able to sign up for somebody else, right? So I'll see if I can get that going. Maybe that's a campaign I can run with them for the next month. Maybe it's something they have already in place that I'm just not sure of. All right. Okay, you know another one I'm kind of curious to look at? Oh, what the hell? I did not mean to look at DYDX. I meant to look at Dixie. Okay, yeah, Dixie's the same. Same as what we talked about a few weeks ago, right? I drew all these lines a long time ago, but yeah, same type of thing, bro. It's just going to continue. Chop, 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 right? This is where it is right now. Return to mean, chop a little bit, go lower. But bro, this is the one I'm the most excited about that I keep forgetting to tweet out. My massive NASDAQ thread. Basically this. Where are you? Okay, this is easier. This, baby. This is more like, I think we're going to get it. Finally, you know, the massive channel, the breakout, the acceleration, the blow off top. You know, everybody else thinks we're dead. Baby, this is where we are right here, right here. We're going to get just, and if this happens in equities, imagine what's going to happen in crypto. This is NASDAQ versus SPX. So NASDAQ completely outpacing. We'll see. It's a little bit ambitious, but I think it could. What is CFX? I'll take a look real quick. Let me see what it is first. Conflux. What market cap? 500 mil. Okay, so it's a decently large coin. What does it do? Conflux prices declined today. I love that. Permissionless layer 1 blockchain connecting decentralized economies across borders and protocols. Migrated to hybrid proof of work, proof of stake consensus. Okay, building and expanding into Asia. Collaborated with several metaverse initiatives, including the city of Shanghai, McDonald's China, and Oreos. Okay. Man, what a resume. um, okay, so definitely very, very Chinese coin. Like, so what have they done? They've run like an ad campaign for Oreos, and I mean, what is Oreos building on the blockchain realistically? That's the thing when I think about this, right? McDonald's, China, and Oreos, what are they doing in Web3? Like what type of collaborations is a block? How is that a flex, bro? Like, what are you building? I don't know. I really want to look into it. Maybe they've done something really cool. Maybe McDonald's China has NFT Happy Meals. Like, kids no longer get the little baby miniature Beanie Babies. They just get these NFTs where they've got to scan a QR code, and that's all on Conflux. That'd be kind of bullish. Get the kids started off young, right? Like Conflux 10 years from now, they're going to say, that was my first NFT. It was a Conflux NFT. That along with the Oreos package. No longer, these are locale Oreos because they're, Oreos on the blockchain. So maybe so. We will see. I'll look at the Conflux chart now. Let's see. Conflux chart. I'm sorry. I don't know why I'm shit talking Conflux. I don't know anything about it. I mean, yeah, this looks like it's going lower, bro. Like, this is gonna fall 14 cents right here. This is going lower. How much lower? TBD. But that doesn't hold. If you're lucky, if you're bullish, here's something I can see potentially happening, right? If we're looking at the diagonal right here, maybe it ends up doing what I'm talking about on some of those others where you end up getting a retest and it does end up climbing. Just gets a little bit sketchy when it starts to retest into that base right there, right? If it does touch that, I don't know. I'd be worried a little bit more about this. So realistically, what would you wait for here? If you have a position and it's a long, if you are long Conflux, I don't know, man. It's a little bit sketchy to me. Maybe you get something like this, right? Like, that's what I was talking about. Maybe you sweep the lows, end up running it back from there. You did have that higher time frame breakout, but that doesn't necessarily mean anything. A lot of the time, like, you're looking at this, you could say, oh, well, this was a high time frame breakout. Same type thing. What did it end up doing after that? Dude, it ended up trending. Just retested, dead bounce, before it came back. Like, along this line. So, what my recommendation would be, if you're waiting for an entry here on Conflux, again, I think these lows are going to be swept. You are going to see some type. I would wait to see this recovery, right? On the way up. Because again, what did you never see here? You never saw a recovery of that base range from this breakout. So again, if you're looking for something here, if you want to be confident, and if you want to be confident in it, I would wait, again, for that to be swept, and then for a, boom, this recovery. You want to see a recovery of that base back into it before you have any type of confidence, I would say, to enter any type of long position for something like this. Yeah, there's support at 0.07. You're right. There are a lot of alts that look like this, man. That just look like they want to go lower. Just looks a little bit heavy to me. I wouldn't be shocked. I don't know. Again, like, you want to see this reclaim after this ends up dipping back. Before you have any type of confidence that this has a chance of resuming that uptrend. Wonky stonks. Dude, wonky stonks are inevitable and they're free right now. We'll take a look at the stonks. Dude, they are so free right now, it's not even funny. Like, I should sweep these, but I'm gonna wait. I will end up, like, I'm stacking more. Always stacking more. Dude, the fact anybody's listed any down here is just ridiculous. But yeah, you know, NFTs is my project. You know, basically the meme of, you know, fully generative art. The chart is the art. And yeah, you know, when I'm looking through a lot of these, like, dude, when I look through the stocks and I look through the type of price action that happens on these, like, I think of a story and a different chart that I've been through at a certain point in time. Like, I just think it's transcendent. I think it's something completely different than what you have with a lot of other projects. But, you know, at the end of the day, like, it is pure art. And I think art is unfuddable, right? Like, once you have somebody that believes in art, you know, like, at that point, there is no other mission. There is no other vision that has to be necessary for the art to remain relevant. Versus if you have some type of utility, it is easy for utility to die out. So no, like, the stonks are coming back, man. Like, the stonks, like, whenever the NFT season happens, like, dude, if you look right now at what the overall, how much ETH it costs to be able to sweep up to, like, double the price, it's like 10 ETH. You know, at the end of the day with NFT projects, whenever the NFT market gets moving, you know, floor is a really deceptive metric because it shows you what the cheapest entry is for one individual, but it doesn't show you, like, what the weighted to be able to actually establish a position in a project. So whenever projects start trending and whenever the NFT market starts trending in general, it does not take much dry powder to move collections that have remained relevant, that have that base community that's been built, and that have remained active throughout a certain period of time. So, like, I think it's one of those things. You basically survive until that season and you thrive. Art equals rich people stuff. You know, like, at the end of the day, maybe. So, like, LTC, let me check out LTC, Trading Joker. Remember the LTC halving? That's what I drew at the LTC halving, bro. This is, like, it's what happened. Like, I don't know what I drew this, but it was obviously a ways ago. Yeah, like, Litecoin looks so bad. Litecoin's about to print new lows versus BTC. Like, okay, I drew this actually at the halving, so this is a better Litecoin chart. And dude, look how accurate it's been. It's like middle of July, like, boom, little spike, boom, follow here. And then what do I expect to happen still with it? You know, base out somewhere around the 50 range. Base out there and eventually break out, like, maybe next summer. So, you know, I think Litecoin's pretty easy around there. Maybe start paying attention. You know, but, like, this whole area, you don't pay attention to Litecoin, bro. It is not worth it, right? Here, maybe, right? There's maybe worth it. But the better question is, when we get there, what is the Litecoin Bitcoin pair doing? And are there better opportunities in the market? The answer is probably going to be yes. Like, realistically, the two places where I would pay attention at Litecoin are right there. You know, that influx point of that breakout. So, and you probably get a couple of these, and it's probably that second one after the W somewhere in this area. So, like, mid next year. But better said, where I would really pay attention to Litecoin is if it is ever, and let's say ever, able to reclaim somewhere up right there, where it's that $400 range again and somehow is able to get up there. This is where you pay attention to Litecoin, that breakout above, right? So right here and right here. This is noise. And then if you didn't establish a position here, this is probably noise as well. Honestly, this is probably the best place. But yeah, if you're a Litecoin holder, you can hold anything, man. They're like, there's not a bag in this world that's too heavy for you. Like, you've seen it all. The only people that might have experienced more pain over the past several years than Litecoin holders are like Zcash holders. Like, look at this Zcash. Oh my God, that is bad. Holy cow. Oh, the pain. The misery. Dude, that is just, hey, quick moment of silence. RIP to anybody that has ever held a bag of Zcash. Like, bro. So Zcash is a great chart, though. And here's why Zcash is such a good chart to look at. Because anytime that you look at your favorite coin versus Bitcoin, and you think, man, it's approaching new all-time lows, like it's going to bounce back, it has to. Like when I looked at this back in June of 19, I thought, man, that's an ascending wedge. It's going to go higher. Doesn't mean that your lows are lows and that they're going to stay there. Like this whole base range, did that hold up? Did that end up being support? No, it ended up just breaking lower. You know, Zcash again, it's probably going to establish another range somewhere down here. And you're going to see some type of bounce and people saying, man, Zcash is finally back. But guess what it's going to do right after it teases you? Whoop, whoop. And it's going to do another one. And it'll do another one. And it'll eventually bleed out to nothing versus Bitcoin. Like, it's that simple. And the majority of alts are going to look like this. What is on Sol Chain? So Sol, check out Sol. Okay, Sol hit that first resistance that we were talking about as our target a while back, right? You know, what did we look at? The pre-FTX collapse levels. That was the target for this year. It got there. Right? It got there. Boom. Target achieved. What could I see it doing in the next year? I could see it hitting these two. Now, if it does something like this first, probably will. Like, you don't have this much expansion without some type of traction. Remember, no just up only without any type of a pullback. But I still see it going higher. Like, Sol actually has a bullish narrative to it versus Zcash, right? Like, Sol, the NFT communities are thriving right now. You've got exchanges that are using a lot of Sol applications and integrations that are popping up, like Backpack, that I'm super bullish on. You've got gaming infrastructure that's being built on Sol. You've got a lot of things for why I'm bullish on Sol as a narrative for this next bull run. But, you know, again, doesn't mean that it can't have pullbacks along the way. So, yeah. Does this end up breaking a little bit lower right now? Like, look at that nice little head and shoulders. Yeah, probably does. You know, probably retest the top over here, up that range, retest this before it ends up chopping back higher. Yeah, the meme coin season on Sol, like, it's been fun for a little bit there, right? We've been having some fun on it. Kamal, I talked about AVAX a little bit earlier, gave a great chart on it. I'll spend 2 seconds again talking about AVAX for you, but I am bullish on AVAX moving forward. They've got a lot of bullish stuff coming up for them, but yeah, this is the AVAX chart. Boom, retest higher. Same type thing. On ARB. Okay, let's check out ARB. Pain. I don't know what to tell you on this one, bro. I'm not. Let's see. I'm not as bullish on ARB. Like, ARB had a nice little run up, filled some levels that we were looking for. Kind of goes back to the chart, like, mirror image of what we were talking about with CFX, right? where, you know, CFX sweep the lows. If you're lucky, you know, you reclaim and so boom, broke beneath this. Probably get some type of retest. If you're really looking for an entry, this is where you'd want to target, right? This is a little bit dangerous because what could happen? It could trend like that. I am bullish on where Bitcoin, everything else is heading from here, though, so I don't see this quite as likely, but that doesn't mean you should eliminate it as a possibility, right? Yeah, Metaverse Kid, it's recorded, so you'll be able to play it back later. Talked even a little bit about C3 AI at the beginning, so whether we're wrecked or not, I don't know. I still think we're going to see a bounce back. Just got to hold the lows from the other day on that. Tau. Okay, let's look at Tau. Which, dude, honestly, I'm not as familiar with Tau. Like, and I should be because Tau has been a really hot coin recently. I'm not sure what the best chart on Tau is. Let me get a brief rundown of Tau real quick. Tau prices declined today. Bittenser is an open source protocol that utilizes blockchain technology to create a decentralized machine learning network. Oh, nice buzzwords all across the board there. This network enables machine learning models to train. So, I mean, it's an AI play, right? Like, that's what I'm getting already. It's an AI, machine learning models, decentralized machine learning, AI. Additionally, Bittenser's Tau grants external access to users, allowing them to extract information from the network while tuning its activities to meet their needs. The ultimate vision of Bittenser is to create a market for artificial intelligence, allowing producers and consumers of this commodity to interact in a trustless, open, and transparent context. Bittenser provides a novel strategy for developing and distributing artificial intelligence technology, promoting open access ownership, decentralized governance, and global access to computing power and innovation within an incentivized framework. The Bittenser network operates using two types of nodes, servers, and validators, with assessments based on the value of their responses. Nodes that add value to the network are rewarded with more stake, while low-value nodes are weakened and eventually deregistered. Okay, I mean, so basically claiming they're going to be some type of decentralized AI. Long-term bearish because there's no way that it works out. But doesn't mean that it can't ride the hype wave, right? Like, that's the thing that you have to understand with the mechanics of expansion for a lot of these categories. It is not about what are you doing today. It is about what might you be doing a year or two from now, right? Because if you look at applications for things that are actually doing what they said they're going to do today, they're not as attractive, right? People look for opportunity and they look for that upside potential more than they look for the actual roadmap achievements. It is just a sad thing about a lot of crypto in general. Like, look at what happened to Link last cycle, right? Like, let's look at Link real quick because Link has been obviously a front runner recently. Okay. Link topped out August of 20. And it had a working product, right? Like, Link should have just run away with the competition throughout the rest of the bull market. I bled several positions trying to pump longs on Link, thinking that it was going to catch up with the rest of the market. I was wrong. Why? Because, again, they had a working product, something that people actually used, and they didn't really see too much more upside because it's like, okay, what's next, right? This is what happens when you have something that works. Like, that people aren't necessarily building on, they're just using, because what else, again, what other applications were really being built? Like, I get that, Stock Lizard King. I know it's a terrible write-up, and I'm going to do other research on it, but it gave me the big picture just in general, right? Like, again, when I look at something that claims they are going to be decentralized AI, What is the real chance that they are going to be decentralized AI that is actually used by the masses? How are they going to infiltrate markets and be a product that, you know, reaches escape velocity as far as total users aggregate? It's not going to happen, right? 99.9% odds. The odds are stacked against them. It will not happen. So when is Tau going to be bullish? Tau is going to be bullish during the development phase. As long as they can extend different roadmap milestones with the development phase of things that might end up coming, right? That's what people care about more than the actual deliverable, because the actual deliverable, 99% of the time, with a lot of these altcoins, ends up being pure shit versus the expectations. Right? Deliverable does not equal expectations 99% of the time. It just is the way that it works. So yeah, it's just the way that the world works. And like, I just want to prep you guys for a lot of that right now. So again, going back to Tau, I'm not sure what phase they are, but by the looks of it, right now, Tau is probably, and like, correct me if I'm wrong on all this, because again, I know nothing about it. This is just me based on looking at the price expansion. This is the phase where you're talking about potential partnerships. You're talking about potential applications. You're talking about things that might be built on it and where it might go down the road, right? Like, this is not the phase of real implementation. This is not the phase of, here is the keynote deliverable. So when I see a chart like this, again, probably will it end up trending? Depends on how the AI narrative continues forward. What else ends up really being built in this area? But dude, to be honest, this type of thing, just from a chart perspective, like, this is due for a pullback. It's that simple. You know, will it expand after that? Again, depends on how strong that narrative is, but I wouldn't be shocked to see something like that. Dude, retest 100 on Tau, chop for a minute, and then continue forward, right? Like, if Tau is really that bullish, dude, do something like this. Amilcar talked about Doge there at the very beginning of this. Would definitely just recommend rewatching. I've talked a lot about it. Don't want to, you know, loop back for everybody that's been around this whole time. Interesting, Metaverse Kid. Did not see the link spot ETF speculation, but hey, that brings up a good point. I don't know how many of y'all watch the Thunder / NBA basketball, I should say. But the NBA right now, there's a team called the Oklahoma City Thunder that just has a crap ton of draft assets. Because they have a crap ton of draft assets, they're talked about as a name involved in every single trade speculation. Everybody's like, oh man, the Thunder, right? Like, the Thunder are prime candidates for whatever player, for whatever trade. And are they really? No, not necessarily, right? But they are, because they have the right assets for it, and because other teams see those assets and they're like, man, I want some of what the Thunder has. Why am I making a comparison to the NBA right now for crypto? Here's why. A lot of these coins that are out here right now, they might have the right resume, right? And they see names like Ethereum and Bitcoin that have ETF filings for them. And they're like, man, well, if Bitcoin could do it, and, you know, this is what Ethereum thought, right? Like, if Bitcoin could do it, and it looks likely, well, then why not Ethereum? And Ethereum is looking more likely. So the question then becomes, you know, like, who else is next? Oh, wow, CZ is out on a $175 million bond. That's insane. So the question then becomes, what is next, right? Because that is what a huge part of this next cycle is going to circle around. What are the other names that are going to be listed for ETFs? What is their percentage chance of approval? So, you know, I wouldn't be shocked if Link is being talked about for a spot ETF. I mean, heck, I wouldn't be shocked if Litecoin's being talked about for a spot ETF. I wouldn't be shocked if you name anything that's in the top 100 that's being talked about for a spot ETF. We're going to hear that for all of the names coming up, right? Like it is not isolated, like all of the top names, spot ETF, right? It's just going to be a huge narrative cluster for this next cycle. And we'll see how much of it actually substantiates into reality. I don't think many will, but I think there will be many conversations. Yeah, 175 mil is insane. I've never heard a bond that large. Okay, let's go. Alessio, you have brought up DOT several times. Dude, I haven't looked at DOT in a long time. Polkadot, baby. Polkadot's one I'm not nearly as bullish on. I'm just going to be straight up with you. Like, and it's reflected in the chart too. You're seeing a lot of other L1s with decent price recoveries. Why are you not seeing the same in DOT as you are in like Avalanche and Sol, etc.? Dude, what do you really see being built on DOT right now? There's just not a lot. You know, DOT doesn't have a vibrant NFT ecosystem, at least not at the forefront. You know, and I get it. You know, DOT is, it's different. Like, you know, I'm pretty sure, dude, I'm like, isn't Polkadot layer 0? Yeah, Polkadot is a layer 0, right? You can build L1s on top of Polkadot. You know, like Kusama, I'm pretty sure is another one. If I remember right, Kusama was an L1 for Polkadot. So, like, is there a better Kusama chart out there, like, with more history? Like, what's being built on Kusama, right? Like, what's being built on what's being built on? If anything, if I'm bullish on any layer 0s, it's got to be Cosmos ecosystem over DOT, you know, because what is its competitor doing? Which even Cosmos, dude, I'm not as bullish on as some people are, right? Like, there's some stuff that I'm actually seeing that's being built on Cosmos, but just not as much. Like, the layer 0... I'm just not as bullish on L0s. Yeah, Wait, Pentashi said the DOT chart is beautiful? How is this beautiful? Maybe he was talking about the USD chart, but like, in what world are either of these charts beautiful? I don't know. I beg to differ. I'm going to go to Pentashi's profile and see what the hell he's talking about by this chart being beautiful. Like, what is he looking at here? Like, you know where this could be beautiful just from a USD perspective? Where this gets interesting for me, I'm not going to call it dead, right? Where this gets interesting is if it reclaims this. So if you see a breakout here, say that it gets right there. That's where it's interesting to me. Right? Because, like, AVAX, for instance, let's go back to it. Where did AVAX become interesting? Right there. And you had some time for an entry. So, where I would be interested here, for DOT. Ah, shoot. I'm not interested in DOT here. I am interested in DOT here. Like, if it can prove that it'll break above, maybe you'll have some type of momentum impulse type of play. And I am going to go to his profile still because, dude, again, I just want to point this out. Like, do you remember me showing the Zcash chart? Like, I showed the Zcash chart for a reason. That is a DOT chart right now. Because if you're looking at the all-time low BTC price for DOT. Where did it bounce off of? So you could be somebody, you could be like, oh man, DOT is super bullish, bro. Why? Because it retested the all-time lows. Anything that retests the all-time lows on the BTC chart just isn't bullish to me. Like, it's just not. It's going to break lower from here. Like, this is not going to hold up. I don't care. Maybe it'll bounce up a little bit. Maybe you'll see a dead cat. But it's going lower. Let's see what Pentashi said about it. Is it even up here anymore? And he talked about FET. I'll look at the FET stuff in a minute. Where does he talk about dot? I don't see any dot charts. Oh, he hasn't talked about it since November. Probably means whatever setup he was looking for was invalidated. Let's see. 447. What is dot now? I mean, it had a nice run after. Like, I guess what he was maybe looking at, like, you saw a little breakout right here. You know, like... And that was a decent spot for a long, if that was it. So, like, November 1st. Yeah, like, that was a good spot for a long. You could ride it up to 580. That was a... But here's the difference, right? Like, that was a 28% run. Look at the difference between that and AVAX. Where AVAX, if I'm looking at the USD chart... Actually, the BTC chart would be better for this. AVAX had something similar here with the BTC chart, but it followed through. Why? Because I actually think AVAX is going to build something, be sustainable, and be relevant this next cycle. DOT won't be. There's no way. Nobody's building shit on DOT. Oh, look at Krillin. I like this chart. Krillin said 550. Back down to there and then maybe up. I could see something like that. And I mean, so according to Patashi, 570 was his first spot. Where did it stop out? I mean, hey, it hit that level to the T. I mean, did it hit the second one? No. Not at all, but did it the first one. Again, I don't know. If you want to punt on it, go for you. Good for you. Dude, why am I blanking on what FET is? Fetch AI. Another AI play, huh? Every single one of these charts. Whatever, it's declined today. Doesn't even have any info on it. What is the market cap of this? $500 million. Woo, boy, there we go. We love to see it. Hey, what did we say, baby? Down here, down a little bit lower, Give me something lower, and then run it back. Run it back after this. Oh, man, that's beautiful. Yeah, like... This is the Thanksgiving blood, baby. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. We're gonna tweet this out right now. Yeah, I'm getting a call from my dad. Probably wants to talk about Thanksgiving plans tomorrow. You know what? We're still on here, so. All right. All right, let's see how that looks on some of these charts. I don't know. Again, could this hold up? Maybe. I mean, would I be shocked if it ended up dipping a little bit lower? Let's see where we are on the BTC chart. I mean, yeah, it's going to end up bouncing back. BTC, again, could it run a little bit lower from here? Sure. But, I mean, I think this is for stacking, man. I do. I think we're going to run it back. Everybody says it's over. When everybody thinks it's over, it ain't over. This is what we were waiting for, what we talked about even at the beginning of the stream. We'll see. Now let's see if the magic lines hold up or not. I mean, somewhere in this range, man. Could it dip a little bit lower? Sure. You know, we talked about like high 34s, 35, somewhere in there being what we expected for this dip. So, you know. And I mean, hey, I would be fine with something like this for Doge bouncing off this base and, you know, running it back from there. Again, said I wouldn't be shocked if we did go a little bit lower, but, you know, anyway, this works for me. We run it back from here. No fear. Total 3. Let's look at total 3. So this includes ETH and BTC. Yeah, that does look ugly. I don't know, man. I don't really ever use total 3 to... But let's look at it from a zoomed out perspective. I don't know, looking at it, where does it look like we are based on, you know, the previous cycle? Looks like we're right about here. Right? I think that's a fair comparison where you had this base range that we were trending in for a long time. You know, you had some type of breakout above it. Same thing right here. And again, dude, this is why I'm so bearish on DOT. Like, DOT is still stuck here. The rest of the market's up here. If DOT were trending and going to be relevant the next market cycle, it would be up here above this breakout with the rest of the market. So yeah, I think we're right here. So yeah, like when you saw this right here, if you were looking at that, you were like, oh shoot, that looks like it'd go way lower. It's done for. What did it do? It bounced, it ranged, it ended up climbing. So I think we're in the same type of position here. This looks like, oh man, it's over, right? Like, looks like it could go a ton lower. Realistically, what's it probably going to do? You know, maybe dip a little, probably stay in this lower range, and then end up going higher. So yeah, I think this is a decent place to be stacking alts still that are, you know, again, that are relevant. Krish, that's literally what I did. Yes. I'm sorry, Alessio. Maybe I'm wrong. You know, hey, maybe there's stuff that's being developed there. I just don't see it. I mean, I could be, again, I could be 100% wrong. I've been wrong before. I will be wrong again. You know, zero doubt about that in my mind. And anytime I am wrong, I'm happy to admit it. Let's go to the 1 second chart for BTC. What's happening in the 1 second chart? Imagine this being your life. Every single second looking at this. Let's look at support and resistance on the 1 second. Oh, looks like we got a breakout on the 1 second. Super bullish, right? All right, let's go to the 5 second, see how that changes. Oh, man. I mean, hey, looking at the 5 second, I'm more bullish than I've ever been. The 15 second, damn. Just got to hold that. Yeah, this is pure crack. You're right, Purple Blessings. This is called crack. This is what you stay away from. Don't give your kids crack. Don't give your kids a 15-second chart. Pop Addy and Zone. Pop Addy, and you see the world when you see this. Now we're running it back, baby. Let's go. It's time. It is time. We caught it live on stream, right? And did you hear any fear in my voice right now? Is there any fear on this dip? No, like, again, this is what we were looking for. It's a healthy pullback. We'll see. We'll see if this holds. This is, like you said, historical price action that I copied onto the screen. That's exactly what a fractal is. We'll see whether or not it holds. Probably invalidated down here. You know, if this ends up giving, invalidated. Right now, I mean, hey, I think it's worth. It's held up pretty well so far. I can trace it back even further than this, but you know, we'll see whether it continues to hold. I already tweeted it out. Amilcar, look at that. I already did. And there's your dip. Blood is for buying. It's on there. I'm not afraid. So it's on there. Okay, I'm getting one thing real quick. All right, we're getting a few more people. Welcome on. You missed the first part of this, but we're glad to have you. Should we go back to the crack, the 1 second? I'm just kidding. I'm not going to the 1 second chart. I was joking around a little bit ago. 1 second charts are complete crack. Like, imagine actually sitting there. There have to be people that actually do TA on like the 1 or 5 second charts, right? Like, those people actually probably existed. Maybe they do it well. I don't know, but like, how? Could it go a little bit lower? Yeah, sure. Like, we talked about that. You know, like, is this a definitive bottom? We will see. I mean, TBD, pretty tough to be able to just catch a knife like that and have it actually be the bottom. Don't necessarily think that it is. Think it could go a little bit lower, but I think there's a good chance we run it back. We'll see whether or not the fractal actually plays out. If it's wrong, it's wrong. But, you know, I think it's a decent spot to punt. We've had a lot of blood. This was our Thanksgiving dip, in my opinion. This is it. This was the Thanksgiving week blood. You know, we talked about that whenever we were looking through earlier on, which, again, I still need to talk about FTT, but while we're in the middle of it, that happened. When we look through the 24-hour bloodbath, like, dude, this is what you expect, right? Like, double digits across the board. Honestly, kind of surprised it's not higher than that. That's one of the things that gives me a little bit more hesitancy for this being the bottom. But, you know, I think there's a chance. Yo, what's up, Cyber Chief? Welcome in here. Alessio, I didn't say long BTC. I said buy BTC. You buy the dip, keep stacking, Chief. Yo, Dime, welcome in, man. It's been way too long. Dime, do you want to hop on and hang out? If you do, I will gladly bring you in here. Tao probably heard me talking shit and decided to run as soon as I said that. Bro, how are you sitting in here saying, Tao running strong, holy cow, wow, Tao, and this is the chart. Who are you, AA? Who are you? Who do you think you are right now? Okay, we're going to have Crypto Paradigm up here live with me in 5. I've got nothing else going on tonight. Dude, my sleep schedule is so messed up. You guys are going to be embarrassed here. Like, this actually is maybe one of the most embarrassing things I've said all day. Maybe all year. But I can't even say it. I'm so embarrassed. I think I fell asleep at 4 a.m. last night and I woke up. I woke up at noon and I got out of bed at 2:30 p.m. today. Like, it was, or 2 p.m. because I had a call with I actually had a call with Ava Labs where they wanted to just talk through some stuff that they have coming up with me. They're not sponsoring me or any of that. Don't worry. Like, that's not, I don't know. Doing a partnership with like any type of chain is just a little bit sketch to me. I think it limits your freedoms as far as, and it really biases your opinion on whatever product that you end up talking about. So I've always been hesitant to do that type of stuff. But I did want to talk through and just see what they had coming. And they've got some cool partnerships that I wasn't even aware of that are coming up on the GameFi and other side of things. So, but yeah, no, cool to have you guys in here. Love seeing the numbers go up. Dude, actually, I'm going to do this as a chart real quick. I'm going to post this on Twitter and show you guys what the stream numbers look like. Look at that. It's basically a shit coin. We broke out. We're sending it, baby. Next leg higher on the way. Oh, look at that. Hey, we are sending so far. So far, we have marked the bottom. I'm just saying. Can I pin a tweet on here and just see? Or let's just look at the time. So that's 1800. Oh, 1802. Okay. My bad. I was off by a minute if that ends up being the bottom. I don't think it will. I think we're going to get a wick lower and then keep running. Like, just pinning bottoms is tough. Well, bro, I think the fractal could end up holding. We'll see. You know, it's what we've been waiting for. I'm just ready for Dime to come in here. And here's the deal. Here's why I love having Dime on. Whatever I end up saying, he gives some type of dose of reality. It's really, you know, sometimes it's what the people need to hear. He's not afraid to call me on whatever bullshit, and I'm all for that. Harry Potter, Obama, Sonic 10, Inu has big soldiers. That's how I read that, Bisanaki. Hey, like, I actually am bullish on ticker Bitcoin for what it's worth, Bisanaki. Like, I think it's going to go higher from here. Eventually, it's going to print new all-time highs. It's just too good of a meme. Oh, messaged on Discord. Give me a minute. I got to set this up with Nime. We're bringing him in. And which means all of my audio is about to be shot for a minute. I am going to turn off the music audio for a second, so you guys aren't going to hear that while I get this conversation with Dime set up. So give me like 2 seconds. I'm going to give him a call. Okay, I've got a plan to make this work. And I don't know whether or not it's going to. 1 second, Dime. I can't hear you because I need to fix my audio. Yo, are you on there? Okay, perfect. Let me get everything fixed. I'm gonna get you live talking. Okay, talk real quick.
Hello,
I think you're live.
Is Crypto Paradigm.
All right, Crypto Paradigm is live. Can you guys hear him?
Hello, friends.
I'll bring some of the music back a little bit in the background, but I've got to get it balanced out.
How are we doing today?
Doing well, man. Give me 1 second before you say something. I'm testing out the music volume. Okay. I think I've got it. You guys in the audience, let me know if anything is off, if I need to adjust the volumes at all, but I think we're good on both.
Hell yeah.
All right, welcome, man. How are you doing on this beautiful day? As you know, there's a bloodbath across the markets.
I was about to say, like, beautiful day. What are you talking about? We're losing an icon.
This is not Paradigm, the VC company, or is it?
No. I'm just some loser that came up with his name before Paradigm even existed, I think.
This is Crypto Paradigm. We're going to go give him a shout out real quick. He's actually this jacked in real life. Homie's been putting in work at the gym.
Oh, I'm still not quite there, but it's a nice goal.
Hey, he's getting there. So
I just finished a 12-week cut, so I am ready to eat some food for Thanksgiving.
Oh, I love that, bro. Love that. So you've been putting in the work. Tell me what else is new. What are you doing for Thanksgiving?
Hanging out with the parents. I suspect that's what a lot of people are doing. I think I have to make a salad. I need to figure out what kind I need to make. My mom will kill me if I don't.
Yeah. So you're okay. A salad. Like, are you experienced in making salads now?
No, not at all,
that's a very random. I feel like that's not a traditional Thanksgiving food.
She tasked various family members with putting together like various pieces of Thanksgiving dinner because it's just the four of us, so it's more about the process making it together than anything.
Okay, fair enough, man. I mean, that's fun. Like, it's a fun Thanksgiving tradition. Okay, so
what about you? No, you don't get off the hook that easy. What about you?
Family stuff, man. Same thing. Like
family stuff. Really, you're just gonna leave this open-ended, vague answer.
Well, you didn't give me a chance to elaborate.
Okay, let's go.
So yeah, I'm heading out to the parents' house tomorrow. They moved recently, so it'll be the first time in their new house. Like, and we grew up in the same childhood home, basically my entire childhood. It was like nearly 30 years in the same house. So anyway, they ended up moving off, and we're gonna be over there with them. I'm kind of excited. It's like one of those 55 plus communities that. They have every amenity that you can think of. So we're going to be playing some pickleball. They have a bunch of golf courses, all that type of stuff. So it'll be fun. Bro, I do not wish that on me. I'm not going to twist my ankle again. It's not happening. But anyway, so we're going to do all that stuff. You know, my older sister is due with her second any day now, so you know that's also going to be something interesting to watch for, whether or not she pops. I think she's actually due in a couple weeks, but she might end up happening a little bit early, so we'll be on the lookout for baby number 2.
How do we bet on this?
It'd be niece number 2. What's that?
How do we bet on this? The day of the
No,
birth?
hey, FTX is down, or otherwise Sam would probably already have up perps. So, you know, I probably would have been able to put in that word.
I had Trump coin in my FTX account until like the very end. It was so silly that they never took it down.
It really is. The fact that was out there.
I do miss the betting markets from FTX. Those were really fun. Like, even I think I only won once, but like it was still like very fun being able to make these binary bets.
By the way, Dime, are you going to tweet out that you're in here so I can retweet it?
I could.
You should. You should tweet out a link. I'll give it a retweet.
Give me 1 second.
Okay, perfect. But yeah, so that's the game plan for me. I'm excited. Excited for all the food. Excited for the family. I confirmed the other day I am going to go to Art Basel coming up here. I just need to confirm which days I'm going to be there. So that's on the list of things I have coming up in the near future. I've
been in Bitcoin for 10 years and I've never gone to a conference ever.
Yeah, you got to go now. Like soon.
At some point.
Maybe Bitcoin conference next year, but we got to... Ooh, BNB. I have not checked BNB. Damn. What a roller coaster today.
No kidding. I saw it was only down like 5%. I was like, considering all the news today, that seems like relative strength, bullish, and then it marked down another 5%. I haven't looked at it in like a few hours though.
Yeah, I haven't looked at it all until now. Oh my gosh,
God.
it said, hey, bro, you are like, you're saying everything's sending right now. You're really, confusing me here. By the way, hey, for you guys that are just joining, like this video. Subscribe if you want to talk. It's really simple. I don't do these all the time, so you're not going to be spammed with a million like tutorials or whatever else across your feed. Subscribe, put on those notifications, because I don't do this often, and when I do, it's fun. So it's worth it. Big Papa Picks, Magnet, I love it. Welcome in, bro. You're on the 1 minute chart. Hey, so far, bro, let's go back to that 5 second chart that we said was so bullish. You know, Dime, how often do you trade on the 5 second chart? I'm
never.
just kidding. I'm kidding. This is a joke.
Literally never.
This is an inside joke to everybody that was in here a little bit ago. Nobody's trading on the 5 second chart. I hope
sure
nobody
some people
is.
are. I hope nobody is. That would be really depressing.
That would be incredibly depressing. Imagine just how autistic you'd have to be on the 1 second chart. You're like, okay, I'm sitting here. Looks like we got a channel here. Okay, we broke out, and okay, looks like there's, peaked right there at that resistance here at 36K. Should be interesting right now. We got to reclaim that. If it gets rejected, we're like... How in the world, man? It's the 1 second. And then, even if you zoom out to the 5 minute, all of that granularity's lost. Like, it's irrelevant.
I remember back in my Tezos trading days that at one point, this is like relatively early in my trading journey, and I remember going down to the 1 minute and charting out like an entire Wyckoff accumulation phase and distribution, the whole cycle, and it actually worked. Like I was amazed. Like the same price action patterns play out on all time frames. Like that is one. If you can do it on the 1 minute, then go for it. But it's so short term. Like I would rather I'd rather stay in a Bitcoin long for 3 weeks and watch it trend up, or short and watch it trend down, than like micromanage on the 1 minute chart. Because it's like one news event will completely invalidate your entire setup on a 1 minute chart, even if it's like a micro event.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's like it's so easy for that to happen. But I'm curious, what is your outlook for where we are right now, right? Like, you've heard my opinion. I still think that we're bouncing. I think we recover from here. I still think we're going to see 40K for the next step. But I would love for somebody with a different opinion, possibly, or the same opinion, you know, like, I just want to hear your opinion, you know, bring a dose of reality to us. Hey, and if you get that tweet out there.
It's already out.
Oh, look at Capo with his flex.
Where? What? Huh?
Capo just came on and flexed a few hours ago.
Like
a few hours ago,
Capo?
he said the beginning of the end.
Oh.
Like, he actually came on. This is the real Capo.
Onto this channel? Like, is he?
No. A few hours ago on Twitter, on X.
I've had him muted for years, so I don't really care. Nothing personal. It's just like, I don't pay attention to him anymore. Is Maine here? Why are we looking at Maine?
I was looking at Maine because somebody said Maine was still bearish on ETH and thought lower, so I wanted to see what Maine had to say.
Oh.
And I looked at it and I didn't see anything on Maine.
My logic structure with Maine is like, don't fade him because he's usually pretty spot on.
Yeah, Maine I respect the hell out of.
Yeah, he's very methodical. I really enjoy. I see his YouTube shorts all the time, and he's very methodical with what he does. I wish I had his eyes for the market. I just tend to be more of a sentiment trader, and I'll hold on to my positions for as long as I can. Regarding Bitcoin, I mean, our structure is still good. Like, we haven't put in a lower low yet. Like, we're still holding that if we close the next day correctly. We do have some major daily divergences that are kind of starting to rear their head, and obviously price has been going sideways for 2 weeks instead of up, which is a change in character for now. Obviously some kind of catalyst is going to be the next spark. I'd like to see 44 to 48k before this tops, but I'm the unleveraged, so I don't really care like on the short term. I think we're going there hopefully by the end of the year, but I suspect if we don't see this pump by December 1st, it's probably cooked for the rest of the year.
Really? So, okay, like, if we don't get that, what type of level would you be looking for, you know, any type of lows from here? Where?
So you see that nice Chad candle that we had on the 23rd of October? Just vertical.
So right around here? Yep.
Yeah. So at some point that's going to get filled just because it's an inefficient candle. Retesting like the 31k area would be a nice and maybe a little too obvious level for us to test. Well, like I said, we do see these divergences starting to show up, and price action is going sideways instead of up. Filling that candle and then reverting back up would be perfectly fine with me. But honestly, we're kind of just doing this vertical grind accumulation up, and divergences don't mean anything. We printed a giant weekly bear div on Bitcoin, and we completely ignored it. Like, divergences are great for kind of like observing other things, but you need to observe like what's going on in the macro. And obviously everyone was so bearish. We had that perfect retest of the, I think it was 200 EMA, and we've been up only ever since. We are starting to push into the kind of the resistance levels from the 2021 range, like the top range, where that was clearly where price was distributing back in the day. It's obvious in hindsight now, of course, but we need to see a move up. I'd probably say in the next like week or two, or else this is probably cooked for a few weeks, if not longer.
Go ahead.
Got to keep the momentum up, brah.
So, okay, here's something I'm going to counter you with.
Okay.
What if this never gets filled? And here's my logic, right? So, you know, you'll see this in a second on the chart. So if you look at like the God candle that we had, say, very beginning of April, like April Fool's Day in 2019, I am not counting this wick as being filled for the pure reason this right here was a black swan event with COVID coming down here. This was like, that would not have been filled otherwise. There's no way, right? Like, that's not happening.
What are you talking about?
In 2020, whenever
you'll
see.
Sorry, I'm looking at delayed feed.
Yeah. You'll see what I'm talking about. Like, but that God candle from April 2019 would not have been filled otherwise, right? Like, so same type of thing right here, right? Like when I look at similar price action and I'm looking at the fractal that I've been paying attention to and showing, like, I'm looking at like this right here, that type of God candle that it saw at the very beginning of October has never been filled, right? Like that has never been filled. That lead up, and again, right here, this lead up, if that price action remains similar, I think there's a chance that it just doesn't get filled. So we'll see. Like, I know it's a little bit extreme. I wouldn't be shocked. I wouldn't be putting any positions out there, leveraging yourself to the tits and saying, well, Kaleo told me there's no chance this will ever get filled again. Like, you should be prepped for it. But
I am now 100x long. Thank you for the financial advice.
Anyway, I think there's a chance, bro.
A chance that we just keep marking up? Oh, I agree.
I think there's a chance we just keep marking up and this doesn't get filled is what I'm saying. And like, here's one of the other things too. I want to look at BTC USD over like the US 500. It's an interesting chart to watch, right? And I shared this not too long ago, because dude, this has some like really interesting hidden resistance and, just hidden levels you don't see on the typical Bitcoin chart. Like, for instance, where did that God candle happen on the 23rd? Guess where it happened? And you don't see this on the Bitcoin chart. You see this here, but it happened whenever we cleared this level right here. That was the, not just the peak of that April, the 23 range resistance. It also correlated perfectly with the base range of 2021 as far as the ratio is concerned, and it correlated with the 2017 ratio all-time high. So it was an incredibly significant level, and when we cleared from there, it was a straight, I like just completely cleared it. And like, I'm looking at that type of a breakout, and I'm like, does it really need to refill that before it continues higher? I just don't think it does.
Not always, but a lot of the time it does. Like we've seen it happen time and time again. Also, that COVID bottom was also the 2019 yearly open. Not a lot of people ever noticed that, but it super was a great hindsight trade. I wasn't using yearly opens at that point. Yeah, no, I had no idea either. But I try to pay really close attention to yearly opens, especially old ones. Like we're about to hit the 2022 yearly open, which I think is 46K. So I'm hoping that that's where we top.
Okay.
It's also about lines up with the 618 retrace. So here's hoping. But also the halvening, I assume that's what you have marked with the vertical line on your chart.
Yeah, that's the halvening.
It's April.
Yeah, mid-April.
Yeah, but you have it for March.
Do I? Okay, well then I probably accidentally dragged it when I was looking at my chart, bro. Let's see. Where do I have it marked on here? Man, I am a manoob. Look at that. I have it marked for March. Oof. There. Is that better?
Yeah, I feel better. Thank you. It was really bugging me. Yeah, that's pretty much like I have pretty much the same thing marked right here. Oof, the Luna collapse.
Yeah.
You ever just like think about all the things that went wrong in 2022? just play it back in your head, trying to think about it.
Like, it's kind of insane to think about, to be honest. The progression of everything that happened.
And we didn't know that it was like under the hood, SBF was like slowly going broke.
Like, and you know what? He almost got away with it too. He really did.
If CZ hadn't done what he done.
Yeah, I'm being absolutely serious. We may have never known about it. This wouldn't have happened. This entire area down here, I think there's a chance, dude. I actually think there's a chance, and here's another part of why I think we could be up only here. I think there's a chance this would have already been the bottom, right? Because when you look at equities were already ripping here. I wouldn't be surprised if Bitcoin already started doing something like this back then. And all of this was just accelerated, right? Had that collapse not happened. So I think we're doing a lot of catch-up work.
So a lot of my bottom signals started firing right before the FTX implosion. Like that was like the cherry on top to like really shake people out. What was really interesting about this bear market bottom, like you remember 2019, we had like 6 months of accumulation from November to April and just sideways, dead price action, no interest, and then suddenly just vertical up to 14K. Like that was crazy. And then this time we had no time. Like it was like a month and a half of dead price action and fear. And then we just haven't looked back ever since.
Yeah. And, you know, like, here's what I look at too all the time. So this chart's super messy. You'll see it in a second, but it's the BLX, the Brave coin. You know, it's the one that has the most history. But the real key message of all this is it's like looking at what happened in that last, you know, year before the halving, the type of price action. Like you've got the halving here in 2012. Boom. What ended up happening? There was volatility, but grind higher, no new all-time high. Here, plenty of volatility, grind higher, no new all-time high. Plenty of volatility, overall grinding higher, no new all-time high. Like, what are we having here? Plenty of volatility, grinding higher, I don't see a new all-time high. You know, I think that it's going, you know, hey, could we chop down there? That's not completely out of the, you know, the question. That's not unrealistic for it to move back down, but I still think just grinding higher, you know, somewhere beneath that all-time high, this is where you stack, right? This is where you stack. It didn't matter in 2020 whether you bought at 12K or whether you were fortunate and bought at 4K, right? Like any of them ended up being good buys about a year or two later in the 60K range. So I think it's going to be the same type of thing here, whether you're buying at 37K or whether you're buying down at 30K or maybe up at 45K, they're all going to be good buys in the next year whenever we're trading up to like 120, 150, right?
Yep, 100%. Your window is closing for long-term, for the US people that pay taxes, long-term capital gains, your window's quickly closing. So I think everyone wants to get in before that window closes in some regard. Because
what do you mean?
Well, if you are trading futures and you're buying Bitcoin and you sell it 364 days after your buy date, then you pay significantly more taxes.
Oh, yeah.
And I think that's a huge consideration, especially for a lot of the retail crowd, specifically because once we get past that area, we enter kind of the short-term speculative phase where volatility increases. And I do think that that's going to happen. But like if you're trying to be a long-term investor, like I'm not leveraging up much this cycle. Like I'll do coin options, and if we get an ETF, I'll do options on those. But I don't really want to like play around with like leverage and go through another FTX and plus we've been booted off everything except for the decentralized DEXs that are starting to crop up and actually have volume on them. But my point is simply like lock in those long-term capital gains and buy and hold will most likely outperform your futures trading.
You know what I'm hyped about, Dime?
What?
I've got $2.5 million of carry forward losses that I can write off against future long-term capital.
Can't you only like write off like $3,000 a year?
Oh, that's against like short-term. Like that's against ordinary income. You can only write off $3K, but the rest of it carry forwards against long-term capital gain.
That's awesome.
So I've got $2.5 million carry forward losses that I can use toward future, you know, like when they come.
There's worse problems to have. Kind of.
I mean, you know, I don't know. Maybe it would have been better just not to lose it at all. But
yeah, no kidding. Was that all trading or was that on FTX?
I mean, combo of a lot of things.
Hell yeah, he's just like me for real, for real. Hey, check out a chart I sent you in Discord.
Okay, give me a second.
Not my original chart, but I stole it from Hentai Avenger. I thought it was really interesting.
I mean, yeah, like that's basically what I hear on the BLX thing. That's kind of what I share a little bit, right?
But he noticed that it's like exactly a certain number of days between cycles.
Bro,
Cycle bottom, cycle top. It's 1,600 before 1,006. God damn it, 1,064 days. Words are hard. Sorry. I just thought that
it's the same type of thing with the base, right? Like time from halving to the cycle bottom. You know, a little bit different from what he's saying, but you know, like it echoes, right? History echoes. Time from the halving to the cycle bottom. That's why back then, so confident, like, boom, that is the bottom. And then from there, it's like, hey, basically up only for X amount of time with like what he shared there. For anybody that, you know, doesn't show it, I guess, does he have it on his Twitter? That'd be an easy way of pulling it up.
Yes.
Okay.
Sending it to you now.
I'm just scrolling down to it.
I'm really trying to left curve this entire cycle, like just really not thinking about it. I sent it to you.
Yeah, I pulled it up.
What was I gonna say? I'm really just I want to exit when the remember the pi cycle indicator? Do you remember that?
The pi cycle indicator.
You haven't heard of this?
I've probably seen it, and I didn't know it was called that.
So basically, it's a very simplified moving average that looks for a very high time frame cross, and it's pretty much top ticked Bitcoin like 3 times now, maybe 4. And we were all laughing at it at the top. I think it triggered somewhere around 46K, somewhere around there. And if we had just like left curved it and just gotten out when that hit, we would all be a lot happier today. But none of us wanted to believe it. And we think candle to candle and not like broad macro for the most part.
Well,
lessons learned.
This chart right here, ladies and gentlemen, imprint it in your minds because I believe it fully. That's, again, when I talk about this whole, you know, cyclical thing and all these timing from, you know, same type of thing, where each one of these end up being like, this fits, the Hentai Avenger chart fits into it perfectly sometime in October 25, right? Like, that is perfect. It's going to be somewhere there. So we've got until October 25. We've got about 2 years of fun ahead of us, ladies and gentlemen. 2 years of fun, and then it's over. So, imprint that in your minds.
Tradition. We have very strong traditions.
Very strong traditions. They don't fade away. See what Bitcoin's doing. So, okay. I mean, so far that's holding up. We'll see whether or not it does. I still think it will. I still think we're running higher from here. Yeah, that October 25. October.
I still can't believe that we breached the prior all-time high on this cycle. Like, that was the real crazy part.
Yeah, I agree. And where do I trade on? You know, I'll answer that. I guess I'll give one more shout out. I've been running long enough. Just click right there. You know, that's my ref code. It'll help you. It'll help me. You know, I partner with Bybit. There's a trading competition going on right now. I've got that linked in the comments right now. You can use my ref code for that. You actually don't have to, as long as you have a Bybit account, you know, and $1,000 in your wallet to start off with. They have 6 days left of the competition. But, you know, hey, if you are signed up on my ref, there are cool things. Like, I gave away 1,800 USDT earlier, right? So, yeah.
So generous.
You know, there are cool things that we do for that occasionally. But yeah, you know, like, I don't know, man. I'm still incredibly bullish for where we are, where we're heading from here. I mean, every dip that I see right now, every significant dip is for buying. Hey, I am curious on one thing that I really shit on a lot earlier, and I want to see if you can give me any insight to why I might be wrong. Like, I was shitting hard on DOT earlier. Have you heard anything bullish for DOT at all? Like, is there any reason I should be wrong about that? Like
what's your
Polkadot?
position that? Yeah, I know what Polkadot is, but are you
What,
saying like down?
What is active with Polkadot? Like, I don't see anything happening with Polkadot. I see other L1s, like, you know, I hear about what's happening on Solana. I hear about what's happening on Avalanche. I hear a little bit about Cosmos. Like, if I'm talking about layer 0 ecosystems, Cosmos I would be more bullish on. But, like, as far as, you know, Polkadot being an L0, what's being done with Dot? You know,
I have no idea. I don't pay attention to Dot at all.
Okay.
Like, that's not my wheelhouse. The chart looks like Link, though, before it pumped.
AA, more of a scalper, or not scalper, more of a swing trader, I should say. I'm sorry. Swing trader. There are periods where, you know, hey, I am more of an intraday scalper, but like right now, I think that it's more important just to be, you know, more of a swing trader, be patient, you know, play the market. Right now, play the upswing that we've got. So...
I can tell you all about Dot's chart, but I don't know anything about the fundamentals with Dot.
I think the Dot chart looks so shitty. That's why I was shitting on it a lot too, outside of the fundamentals. Like, it reminds me of the Zcash chart where it's just bleeding down only. And I'm like, hey, maybe best case scenario, you guys see a bump like this against BTC. But anytime I see any like BTC chart for any alt retesting the all-time lows, like, that is incredibly bearish to me, right? Like, doesn't usually end up well. It is not strong support. It will fall. It'll pull a Zcash. It'll pull a Litecoin. It's going lower.
Well, now I want to buy some.
Do it.
No, but I don't know if you saw my link call earlier this year, but I basically said it was going to violate the lows and then walk away from your computer for 2 years.
Yeah.
And then it went vertical like 6 months after. I think I posted that in February. It violated the lows, I think in July, and then it just went vertical. And I think it's up 200% from where I said it would go.
How bad did it violate the lows?
Like, not much, but it was like enough to stop people out and make them lose faith in it.
Are we talking about, like, you know, SBF level violation with years in jail? Or are we talking about CZ violation with a nice slap on the wrist?
Well, you'd have to pull up the link chart to see, because you're currently on ZEC. What a depressing chart.
You want to look? That's why I brought up Dot, bro. Just like, it reminds me of Zcash. Okay, so you want me to look at Link USD or BTC?
Link USD.
Okay.
Your chart is not updating on my end.
It will. It's coming.
Okay, there it is.
Now my mom's calling me. I'm going to end up having to get off this call and talk to them in a minute.
I think I'm like 30 seconds behind you.
No, it should be live now.
There we go. All right, so you see how there was those nice equal lows for like the 1.5 year range that Link was in?
Mm-hmm.
Zoom in just a little bit.
I'm on the 3-day. Do you want me at a different granularity, like this whole?
No. It can stay on the 3-day. Just like I don't need to see like 5 years of price action.
Fair.
But you see how there's like those nice flat lows it kept testing over and over? Yeah, so as soon as it violated them in, looks like June, we reverted and started going
you mean
up.
right here where it ended up, like, the deviation beneath it?
It's literally a textbook deviation. I was like, that would be the most obvious.
And when it reclaimed, that's when you were bullish. Like, okay, this is coming back.
Yeah. I think I bought some at 5, and I was happy with that, and I ignored it ever since.
Nice. Good play, man.
Yeah, I was pretty happy with that. But my point is like Dot is doing kind of the same thing right now. Like it doesn't have nearly the same accumulation setup, but it feels like it violated those lows, started to go up. Now it's going to pull back after hitting the mean trend line, and now we're hopefully going to see it.
It just doesn't look as clean to me, bro. Like
it doesn't. It's not nearly as good. 100%.
Like this is 2 tests against it versus, you know, you're looking at Link.
I mean, in a genuine crypto bull market,
I guess Link was a couple. Yeah, I mean, it will go higher. You're right. Like from that perspective, am I bullish on Dot going higher? As in general, yes. But when I'm talking about, like, that's why I think the BTC chart's so important to look at, because it shows you how it trends versus the king. And it's like, if it's not going to outpace Bitcoin, like, why do I care?
True. Very true.
Right?
Solana has that in spades.
Yeah. Yeah.
Did you ever buy Akash as the shill from Altcoin Psycho?
No, I mean, you guys have chilled me on it a million times, though.
You should look at it.
Like, I believe Akash is like talking about. I've talked about Cosmos with a lot of people on here, right? There we go. Dang, it's doing well. So, like, why I brought up Cosmos versus, DOT. Akash is a great example. Akash is built on Cosmos. It's part of the Cosmos ecosystem. It's a great example of something that's actually thriving within it. Like, it's a lot more difficult for me to think of these type of examples in DOT versus something like Cosmos.
100%. Like, I don't know anyone that's like innovating on DOT at all. Like, it's just not something that comes up.
So again, like, if I were buying, let's do Atom over. I'm curious what that looks like.
Adam
like,
did a. Oh,
look at
go ahead.
this. It's just slowly been grinding higher, man. Like, just slowly grinding higher. I mean, heck, you could even, if you want to draw trend lines on it, look at that trend line. Like, will it hold? Will it not? I think that it continues higher. Like, I see no reason for it not to. I'd bet Cosmos over it. So
I Cosmos feels better on the whole, to be completely honest. Like, I don't know anything about DOT. I know people made money on it in 2021, but it's not really like something I want to put time and money into.
So Kujira, huh? Kujira, I'm assuming that's built on that. It feels like it's something that's, a DOT type of ecosystem. Or is this Cosmos? Like, here. Does it say on here?
I'm gonna grab some water. Can you hang out for a second?
Yeah.
1 minute.
And crypto, I'm too lazy. Tell me what Kujira is built on. I agree with you, Vibes. I do. And I talked about AVAX earlier. Bro, what if we did bottom tick this on stream? That'd be awesome. Okay, so it's Cosmos. Okay, perfect. So yeah, like, again, you're looking for what's within the ecosystem that's doing well for, like, what the underlying is. And, AVAX has a lot of bullish stuff within the ecosystem. That's why I'm bullish on it. Same thing with Solana, right? Solana, like, that's why I knew it wasn't going away. It's just how bullish everybody within the ecosystem is still building after FTX left. Yeah, dude, I think we actually bottom ticked it on this stream. We'll see. I mean, I say that type of stuff, it's going to go lower now, but, so
Down
far,
only.
so good. Down only now that I said that.
The Kaleo curse is a little stronger than the Dime curse because you have way more followers.
That's true. That's true. But now I'm actually, dude, I'm looking at it. I've been going for like over 2 hours now somehow. So I think I'm going to go ahead and call it. I've got to do a lot of stuff as far as coming up here for, just getting ready for the road trip. And
How long's your drive?
it's not too bad. Like it's less than half a day. So
Oh, it's easy. Easy peasy.
like, yeah, not too bad at all, but I hate packing. That's the bigger struggle right now. Also, just remembered I've got some laundry that I need to put in the dryer. All the, the home fun things that are coming up. But, hey, guys, I really think one way or the other, whether we see more blood or not, like, this is just the Thanksgiving, like, it's the Thanksgiving week curse of just having a sell-off. Like, and I think that we're experiencing it now. Typically it's ended up being a good place to buy. Take that for what you will. We'll see. Appreciate you guys hopping on. Yeah, and let me shout out my co-streamer one more time so you guys can follow him. Crypto Paradigm.
Hi, guys. Thanks for having me.
So yeah, follow Dime if you were not following him already. Really, really solid dude, OG that I'm friends with from the last cycle. You know, really appreciate you joining as well, Dime. Definitely had a good time. It's been too long since had you up here.
Thanks for having me.
But yeah, you know what? We will catch you guys this next time. Appreciate you guys coming.